I'm Gauri S., your anchor on today's episode for Hair on Air podcast series. Today's podcast is on a burning topic at current times, which is hair fall, as it affects millions of people in India and around the world. Hair loss or hair thinning is a very common condition that affects and changes a person's appearance over a period of time and takes a huge toll on person's self-esteem and emotional well-being, especially in today's Insta era. So in today's entire podcast, we'll be talking about how to keep our hair healthy. So today, to educate us more about how to keep our hair healthy and prevent hair loss, we have with us esteemed dermatologist and trichologist, Dr. Urmila Nischal from Bangalore. Welcome to our podcast, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Before we start our podcast today, we would like to know, why did you specialize in dermatology and trichology?
So as a kid, it was my dream to become a doctor because improving the sufferings gave me a lot, or helping others gave me a lot of sense of fulfillment. And when I chose the specialization, I wanted to do something different. And we all know that looks matter the most for the self-confidence, and based on that, your perseverance and your the way you work, everything matters. So looks are the most important thing. And what if I gave someone through a proper health and proper guidance? So that's why I choose dermatology as my specialization.
Ma'am, our hair falls every day. But ನಾವು ಯಾವಾಗ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು we are facing hair loss ಅಂತ?
Okay, so hair fall every day, you said it's absolutely right. ಯಾಕಂದರೆ hair grows in a cycle. So ಬೆಳೆಯೋ ಸ್ಟೇಜಲ್ಲಿ ಈಗ ನೀವು ಗಿಡ ಮರ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೇನು ಅಷ್ಟೇ, ಎಲೆ ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಪರ್ಮನೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿರಲ್ಲ ತಾನೆ. ಎಲೆ ಬೆಳೆಯುತ್ತೆ, ಉದುರತ್ತೆ, ಹೊಸ ಚಿಗುರು ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಕೂದಲು ಹಾಗೆ ಸೈಕ್ಲಿಕಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಬೆಳೆಯುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ದೇರ್ ಆರ್ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಫೇಸಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಹೇರ್ ಗ್ರೋತ್. ಒನ್ ಇಸ್ ಅನಾಜನ್, ದಿ ಅದರ್ ಇಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾಟಜನ್, ಟೀಲೋಜನ್. ಸೊ ಟೀಲೋಜನಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಕೂದಲು ಉದುರೋ ಸ್ಟೇಜ್, ಅನಾಜನ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಬೆಳೆಯೋ ಸ್ಟೇಜ್. ಸೊ ಕೆಲವು ಒಮ್ಮೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದರೆ ದ ಹೇರ್ ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಫೇಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಲಾಂಗರ್. ಸೊ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಲಾಂಗರ್ ಹೇರ್, right? So some people will have only short, ಎಷ್ಟು ದಿವಸ ಬಿಟ್ರೇನು they will have only short hair. So it depends upon this anagen growth phase, the length will be determined. So because of this cycle, we get hair fall, which is normal. So on an average, 1 to 2% of the total hair follicles what we have on the scalp are in the telogen phase. ಅಂದರೆ up to 50 to 100 hair strands in a day ಹೋಯ್ತಂದ್ರೆ no problem. But if the hair fall is persistent, ಅಂದರೆ more than 100 hair falls per day, plus you notice thinning of the hair, ಅಂದರೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಪೋನಿ ಸೈಜ್ ತೆಳು ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಯು ಸಿ ವೈಡ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಷನ್, ಆರ್ ಸ್ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಪಲ್ಲಿ ಜಾಗ ಖಾಲಿ ಖಾಲಿ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಅಂದರೆ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಅವೇರ್ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ಇಸ್ ರಾಂಗ್. And the best person to address this is a dermatologist. So don't waste your time. You have to approach a dermatologist as early as possible.
Ma'am, is hair fall different for both men and women?
Okay, so what is different is not the hair fall. See, usually what we feel that balding is happening because of hair fall. So hair fall and hair thinning or hair loss is a little bit different. So as I said, hair fall is normal, natural, because the hair follicle grows, its life cycle is completed, and the hair will be shed and a new hair comes. So hair fall need not necessarily end up in balding or hair loss. So the causes definitely would be different in men and women. In women, iron deficiency anemia is the most common cause of hair fall. And in men, it could be related to stress, or some physical illness, or any kind of stress would precipitate hair fall in men, which is not so common as compared to women. What is more common in men is hair thinning and balding.
Ma'am, can lost hairs be regrown?
Okay, so what happens is, if the hair is lost, hair follicle is lost, then we cannot regrow. So let me explain you. Hair follicle is the place from where the hair strands grows. So at birth, we will have a determined number of hair follicles on the scalp. We cannot change that. But what can be changed is the number of hairs growing from the follicles. So usually what happens with age, even if everything is fine, you are high on nutrition, everything is fine, just because of the growing age, we tend to lose this hair strands or the hair shafts. And from 3 per follicle, it becomes 1. That also becomes thin and it is lost. So hair strands which are lost can be regained, but not the hair follicles.
Dr. Urmila, what is the main reason for hair thinning and can we reverse that?
Yes, hair thinning can be reversed if the hair follicle is not completely damaged or there is no scarring. The main reason is, of course, our lifestyle. Yes, you got it right, and it's no more just the genetics. It is our lifestyle, good food, exercise, and good sleep determines all this. So when the oxidative stress is less, the hair thinning is going to be less. So I would definitely put our lifestyle as number 1 reason for the current increase in hair thinning.
Let's talk about myths about hair care. Ma'am, wearing hats, will we lose our hair?
No, wearing hats or helmet has nothing to do with hair loss. What can happen if you're not using your hat or helmet properly? There might be increased temperature on the scalp, increased humidity. It can cause sweating and can increase the dandruff and itching on the scalp. But it definitely doesn't do anything to cause hair fall or hair loss. If your hat is very tight or your helmet is not fitting properly, then the traction can cause little bit of hair loss, but definitely it is not the main cause for your hair fall if you are contemplating that it is one.
Ma'am, continuous shampoo use ಮಾಡೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಹೇರ್ ಫಾಲ್ ಆಗುತ್ತಾ?
ಎಸ್, ಇಟ್ ಡಿಪೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ಅಪಾನ್ ನೀವು ಯಾವ ಥರ ಶ್ಯಾಂಪು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ. ಈಗ ಶ್ಯಾಂಪೂಲಿ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಫೋಮಿಂಗ್ ಏಜೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ದರೆ, ಸಲ್ಫೇಟ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ದರೆ, ವಾಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್ಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಹೇರ್ದು ಔಟರ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಕ್ಯೂಟಿಕಲ್ ಅಂತೀವಿ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ. ಸೊ ದ ಕ್ಯೂಟಿಕಲ್ ಗೆಟ್ಸ್ ಡ್ಯಾಮೇಜ್. ನೀವು ಫಿಶ್ ನೋಡಿರ್ತೀರ ತಾನೆ. ಸೊ ಫಿಶ್ ಸ್ಕೇಲ್ಸ್ ಸ್ಮೂತ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದರೆ ಟಚ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಸಾಫ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಮೂತ್ ಅನಿಸುತ್ತೆ. ಅದೇ ನೀವು ಉಲ್ಟಾ ಹಂಗೆ ಮೂವ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಹೆಂಗಾಗತ್ತೆ, ರಫ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ಕ್ಯೂಟಿಕಲ್ಗೂ ಹಾಗೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ವೆನ್ ದ ಶ್ಯಾಂಪೂ ಈಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಗುಡ್, ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಹಾರ್ಶ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ರಿಪೀಟೆಡ್ ಶ್ಯಾಂಪೂಯಿಂಗ್ ನಿಮ್ಮ ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ protein ಮತ್ತು oil and moisture from the hair is lost and it will make the hair rough, brittle and more prone to breakage. So definitely choosing a right shampoo is very important in your hair care routine.
Dr. Urmila, ಬರೀ ವಯಸ್ಸಾದವ್ರಿಗೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಬಾಲ್ನೆಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತಾ?
ಸೊ ಹಾಗೇನಿಲ್ಲ, ವಯಸ್ಸಾಗಿರೋರಿಗೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಹೇರ್ ಫಾಲ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು ಅಂಥದ್ದು ಏನೂ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಬಟ್ ಜನರಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, 50 ವರ್ಷ ಆದಮೇಲೆ 50% ಜನಕ್ಕೆ ಹೇರ್ ಲಾಸ್ ಸಂಬಂಧ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಶುರು ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಹೇರ್ ಫಾಲ್ ಆರ್ ಹೇರ್ ಫಾಲ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಹೇರ್ ಥಿನ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಇಸ್ ಬಿಕಮಿಂಗ್ ವೆರಿ ಕಾಮನ್ ನಾವು. ಮಕ್ಕಳಲ್ಲೇ ನಾವು ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ, 14 ವರ್ಷ 15 ವರ್ಷ ಹುಡುಗರು ಅವ್ರಿಗೂ ಹೇರ್ ಥಿನ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಆರ್ ಬಾಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಶುರು ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಏಜ್ ಇಸ್ ನೋ ಮೋರ್ ಅ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರ್.
Dr. Urmila, if we keep using oil, only then will our hairs be healthy?
ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಆಯಿಲ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ ಡಬಲ್ ಏಜ್ಡ್ ವೆಪನ್. ಆಯಿಲ್ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯದು ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಆಯಿಲ್ ನಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಮು ಕೊಡ್ಬೋದು. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಸ್ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಪ್ ಆಗಲೇ ಆಯಿಲಿ ಇದ್ದರೆ, ಡ್ಯಾಂಡ್ರಫ್ ಇದ್ದರೆ, ಅದರ ಮೇಲೆ ನೀವು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಆಯಿಲ್ ಹಾಕ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಆ ಡ್ಯಾಂಡ್ರಫ್ ಇನ್ನೂ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಫಂಗಸ್ಗೆ ಆಯಿಲ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಊಟ ಹಾಕ್ದಂಗೆ. ಬಟ್ ಅದೇ ನೀವು ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾಗಿ ಆಯಿಲಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ತೊಂದರೆ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಆಯಿಲ್ ಈಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್ ಆ್ಯಸ್ ಅ ಪ್ರೀ ವಾಶ್. ಸೊ ಆಯಿಲ್ ವರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಸ್ ಅ ಕಂಡೀಷ್ನಿಂಗ್. ಸೊ ಕೋಲ್ಡ್ ಪ್ರೆಸ್ ಕೊಕೊನಟ್ ಆಯಿಲ್ ನೀವು ಕೂದಲುಗೆ ತಲೆ ಸ್ನಾನಕ್ಕೆ ಮುಂಚೆ ಅರ್ಧ ಗಂಟೆ 2 ಗಂಟೆ ಮುಂಚೆ ಹಾಕ್ಕೊಂಡು ಆಮೇಲೆ ತಲೆ ಸ್ನಾನ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ದ ಹೇರ್ ಸ್ವೆಲ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಡಿಸ್ವೆಲ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ಲ, ನೀರು ಹೋದರೆ ನಮ್ಗನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ ನೀರು ಅಂದರೆ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯದು, ಹೇರ್ ಕ್ಲೀನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಬಟ್ ಹಾಗೇನಿಲ್ಲ, ಕೂದಲು ಮೇಲೆ ನೀರು ಬಿದ್ದರೆ ದೆರ್ ಇಸ್ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ವಿಚ್ ವಿ ಕಾಲ್ ಆಸ್ ಸ್ವೆಲ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಡಿಸ್ವೆಲ್ಲಿಂಗ್. ಸೊ ಅದು ಪದೇ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದರೆ ದ ಹೇರ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ಸ್ ಬ್ರಿಟಲ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಆಯಿಲ್ ಇಸ್ ಡೆಫಿನೆಟ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರೊಟೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಹಿಯರ್. ಬಟ್ ಬರೀ ಆಯಿಲ್ ಹಾಕ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದರೆ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಹೇರ್ ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂಥದ್ದಿಲ್ಲ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ತುಂಬ ಆಯಿಲ್ ಹಾಕಿ ಆಮೇಲೆ ತುಂಬ ಶ್ಯಾಂಪು ಹಾಕ್ಕೊಂಡು ತಿಕ್ಕಿ ತೊಳೆದ್ರೆ ಬರೋ ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಆಯಿಲ್ ಸಹ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಕೂದಲು ರಫ್ ಆಗಿ ಬ್ರಿಟಲ್ ಆಗೋದು ಚಾನ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ.
Dr. Urmila, what is alopecia?
Alopecia is a medical term for hair loss. So alopecia can be localized. Localized ಅಂದರೆ ಬರೀ ಒಂದು ಪ್ಯಾಚ್ ಮೇಲೆ, or it can be generalized. So alopecia can occur on the scalp, it can occur on the body hair also. Alopecia can be permanent or temporary. Permanent andre scarring alopecia, which I was talking about hair follicles. If the hair follicle is destroyed permanently, then it is called as scarring alopecia. Localized alopecia, patches of hair fall, which is hair loss, which is instant, which is called as alopecia areata. So this can occur for anyone. It can occur in kids and adults, in elderly, anywhere. So it can occur on the beard, or it can occur on the scalp as well.
Dr. Urmila, how can we prevent hair loss? Is there any nutrient therapy?
Okay, so yes, because hair follicles are the most metabolically active cells in our body. So we need good amount of nutrition and the right nutrition. So food is the source of our energy. So let food be your medicine. A balanced, nutritious diet is way going to, prevent your hair fall, and you can have good hair with one single thing, that is good nutrition. And along with good nutrition, it is the good lifestyle. So you have to have some kind of physical activity, sleep early. So when you sleep early, you can harness the power of a hormone called as melatonin, which fix all the oxidative damage which is happening, and which definitely contributes in preventing hair fall.
Dr. Urmila, to prevent hair loss and to promote healthy hair growth, what is the first line treatment you would recommend to our viewers?
So right from the beginning, I'm telling it's the lifestyle. So yes, we have to improve our lifestyle. Right amount of sleep and right time is important. So try to sleep before 10. That's going to be the best thing. A balanced, nutritious diet, some amount of exercise. Then comes the nutritional therapy. So don't mindlessly just go on taking nutritional supplements which are available in the market, because most of the nutritional supplements are having biotin, and biotin is produced by our own body abundantly in our intestines, right? So you have to get yourself evaluated. So the most common deficiencies associated with hair loss or hair fall is vitamin D deficiency, thyroid, and vitamin B12. So we get evaluated, and if these nutrients are deficient, then we replenish them, and that's how it's going to help us. So you can add omega-3 fatty acids, which help a lot both in your hair and skin.
Dr. Urmila, will a particular hairstyle cause hair loss?
Yes. So what happens is, hairstyle is the most important thing we are all into. But there are certain types of hairstyle where you tightly comb the hair and there is a pull, traction. It can cause hair loss, and that can be permanent. It can be a scarring hair fall. It can be a scarring hair loss. So when you tie ponytails, very high ponytails, there is traction, right? So any kind of traction is going to pull the hair follicles and cause trauma there, and this can cause permanent hair loss. So you can see in elderly people, sometimes they would have loss of hair from the sides, and it is because of the traction which your hairstyle is doing. So traction definitely contributes to hair loss, and you should have hairstyles where there's not much of traction or pull on the hair follicles.
Dr. Urmila, what is the main reason for baldness?
Okay, so usually what people feel is that, oh, I'm losing hair and I'm going to get bald. So balding is not because of the hair fall that is happening, but it is a process of hair thinning. So here the hormones come into play. So a hormone which is called as 5-hydrotestosterone gets converted to dihydrotestosterone, and this converted hormone works on the hair follicle and cause their thinning. So gradually what happens, a thicker follicle becomes thin, and it is destroyed permanently, and that's how we end up in balding. So what is balding in women? It is increased partition. So you keep on combing your hair and suddenly you notice, oh, my partition has widened, and there is decrease in the size of the ponytail. So what is happening in men? There is recession of the hairline. So they go bald from the front and the sides, but most of the time the posterior aspect, the back of the hair, is preserved, because it is very unique way that these follicles are not under the same hormonal control like the follicles in the frontal and the lateral aspect. So in men we see actual balding, but in women it is mainly the widening of partition and the thinning. So that's why that's one of the reasons why females would approach a dermatologist later, because we don't see any significant balding.
Doctor, what are the treatment for hair loss?
Well, there are a lot of treatments for hair loss these days, so we can divide them into invasive and non-invasive. Non-invasive means they are painless. So low level light therapy is one of the most interesting treatments, wherein low levels of light energy is delivered on the scalp. So you might have to wear a helmet, or a lamp is placed on your scalp where red light is delivered at low energy, and this stimulates the hair follicles. So usually you will have to do it twice or thrice in a week for 10 to 12 sessions, and you see significant improvement in the hair fall and also in the hair growth. Now coming to the invasive. So what we can do mesotherapy, where the nutrients are delivered into the skin of the scalp, so it reaches the hair roots. And then is the PRP, which is platelet rich plasma therapy, where we draw your blood just like how you give blood for blood testing. Similarly, it is collected in test tubes and it is centrifuged. So what happens is the red blood cells settle down, and in the above you get a liquid which is golden color, and this is rich in platelets. We all know platelets, right? So platelets are a storehouse of growth factors, and when these platelets are released, when these platelets are broken down in the fluid, it releases the growth factor. Now these growth factors are delivered through injections onto the scalp, and it helps in preventing the hair thinning, prolonging the hair growth, and also increasing the thickness of the hair. The advanced version of PRP is called as growth factor concentrate, where the growth factors are already delivered and where the growth factors are already collected in the fluid, and we inject the growth factors. Then there are other stem cell therapies and a lot of other treatments with oral supplementation, which works wonders. So usually to see the results, you have to follow the treatments at least for 3 to 4 months, and then the results will be visible to the naked eye.
ಮ್ಯಾಮ್, ಯಾವುದಾದ್ರೂ 3 ವಿಷಯ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಥವಾ ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದು ಟು ಟೇಕ್ ಕೇರ್ ಆಫ್ ಅವರ್ ಹೇರ್?
ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ ನೀಟಾಗಿ ಕೇರ್ ತೊಗೋಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ವೆನ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಔಟ್, ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೋದಾಗ ಕೂದಲು ಓಪನ್ ಬಿಡಬಾರ್ದು. ಸೊ ಸನ್ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಿರ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಸನ್ ಏನು ಬರೀ ಸ್ಕಿನ್ಗೆ ಟ್ಯಾನ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಆ ಥರದಲ್ಲ, ಬಟ್ ಕೂದಲು ಹಾಳಾಗತ್ತೆ. ಕೂದಲಲ್ಲಿರೋದು ಮೆಲಾನಿನ್ ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್ ಸನ್ಲೈಟ್ನ ಅಬ್ಸಾರ್ಬ್ ಮಾಡಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಅದು ಬ್ರೌನ್ ಕಲರ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಕೂದಲು ಆಗೋ ಚಾನ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಸನ್ಲೈಟಿಂದನೂ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಆ ಗಾಳಿಯಿಂದನೂ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೋದಾಗ ಹ್ಯಾಟ್ ಹಾಕ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಹೇರ್ ಕವರ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಸೊ ಪೋನಿಟೇಲ್ ಹಾಕ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಅಥವಾ ಜಡೆ ಹಾಕ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಜಡೆ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ದ ಬೆಸ್ಟ್ ಥಿಂಗ್, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಕವರ್ ದೆಮ್ ವಿತ್ ಕ್ಲಾತ್ ವೆರ್ ಎವರ್ ಪಾಸಿಬಲ್. ಮೈಲ್ಡಾಗಿ ಶ್ಯಾಂಪು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಪ್ರತಿ ಸಲ ತಲೆ ಸ್ನಾನಕ್ಕೆ ಮುಂಚೆ ಕೂದಲು ಮೇಲೆ ಎಣ್ಣೆ ಹಾಕ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಸೊ ಒನ್ ಫ್ಯೂ ಡ್ರಾಪ್ಸ್ ಕೋಲ್ಡ್ ಪ್ರೆಸ್ ಕೋಕೋನಟ್ ಆಯಿಲ್ ಆನ್ ದ ಹೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಯು. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಅವಾಯ್ಡ್ ಎನಿ ಫಿಸಿಕಲ್ ಕೆಮಿಕಲ್ ಟ್ರೀಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಆನ್ ದ ಹೇರ್. ಈ 3 ವಿಷಯ ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದು. ಕೆಮಿಕಲ್ ಟ್ರೀಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಹೇರ್ ಡೈ ಹಾಕ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು, ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಹೇರ್ ಕಲರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಫಿಸಿಕಲ್ ಟ್ರೀಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಪರ್ಮಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡೋದು, ಸ್ಟ್ರೇಟ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡೋದು, ಅವಾಗ ಬ್ಲೋ ಡ್ರೈ ಮಾಡೋದು. ಸೊ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಅವಾಯ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಹೇರ್ ತುಂಬ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ.
ಮ್ಯಾಮ್, ನಾವು ಯಾವ ವಯಸ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಟೇಕ್ ಕೇರ್ ಆಫ್ ಅವರ್ ಹೇರ್ ಮೋರ್?
ದಿಸ್ ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಲೈಕ್ ದಿಸ್. ಎಲ್ಲ ವಯಸ್ಸಲ್ಲೇ ಹೇರ್ ಕೇರ್ ಮಾಡಲೇಬೇಕು. ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ಈಗ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಲ್ಲ, ಆ ಥಿನಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ರೊಸೆಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ನಾವು ಹುಟ್ದಾಗ್ಲಿಂದನೇ ಅಂದರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಟೀನೇಜಲ್ಲೇ ಶುರು ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾವಾಗ ನಮ್ಮ ಹಾರ್ಮೋನ್ ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ಶುರು ಆಗುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಆ ಪ್ಯೂಬರ್ಟಲ್ ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಸ್ಪರ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಅವಾಗಿಂದ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಟೇಕ್ ಕೇರ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಹೇರ್. So that is what I can say. Not like 20s alli, 30s alli, but that teenage, when we have that pubertal growth spurt and the maturity sets in, that is the time when you have to start taking care.
Ma'am, to all the viewers, hair shine ಆಗಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು?
So hair shine is the reflection of the hair health. ಸೊ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ನಾವು ಎಷ್ಟು ಫಿಸಿಕಲ್ ಕೆಮಿಕಲ್ ಟ್ರೀಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಕಲರಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇರ್ ಕ್ಯೂಟಿಕಲ್ ಡ್ಯಾಮೇಜ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಕ್ಯೂಟಿಕಲ್ ಡ್ಯಾಮೇಜ್ ಆದಾಗ ಆ ಶೈನ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇರಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಡಲ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಸ್ಪ್ಲಿಟ್ ಎಂಡ್ಸ್ ಬರೋದು ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಕೂದಲನ್ನ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಕಾಪಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು? ಫಸ್ಟು ಡಯಟ್. ಸೊ ಡಯಟಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರೋಟೀನ್ ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿರಬೇಕು, ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ಡ್ ಡಯಟ್ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಆಮೇಲೆ ತಲೆ ಸ್ನಾನಕ್ಕೆ ಮುಂಚೆ ಕೂದಲಿಗೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಎಣ್ಣೆ ಹಾಕಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ನಾವು ಯೂಶ್ವಲಿ ಸ್ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಪಿಗೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಎಣ್ಣೆ ಹಾಕ್ತೀವಿ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ ಸ್ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಪ್ಗಿಂತ ನಮಗೆ ಪ್ರೊಟೆಕ್ಷನ್ಗೆ ಎಣ್ಣೆ ಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಬಿ ದ ಹೇರ್ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ತುಂಬ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಅಂದರೆ ಒಂದು 4-5 ಡ್ರಾಪ್ಸ್ ತೊಗೊಂಡು ಕೈಗೆ ಸೋರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಆಮೇಲೆ ಕೂದಲಿಗೆ ಹಾಕಿ ಅರ್ಧ ಗಂಟೆ ಹಾಕಿದ್ರೆ ಸಾಕು. ಆಮೇಲೆ ತುಂಬ ಹೊತ್ತು ತಲೆ ಸ್ನಾನ ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದು, ತುಂಬ ಬಿಸಿ ನೀರಲ್ಲಿ ತಲೆ ಸ್ನಾನ ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದು. ಹೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಬಟ್ ಪ್ರೋಟೀನ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ನೀವು ತುಂಬ ಬಿಸಿ ನೀರಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ನಾನ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಪ್ರೋಟೀನ್ ಹಾರ್ಡನ್ ಅಪ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಕೂದಲು ವರ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇದರಿಂದ ಶೈನ್ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ನೀವು ಇಷ್ಟೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಶೈನ್ ಖಂಡಿತ ಇರುತ್ತೆ.
Thank you, Dr. Urmila, for sparing your precious time with us on Hair on Care podcast show. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's my pleasure. It's our responsibility to educate and create awareness about the right things, right? I hope this was helpful and you all are going to take care of your hair right from today.
All our viewers are definitely going to follow your advice. Thank you so much for that, ma'am.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, viewers, for staying connected with us and to know what's right to keep your hair healthy from our experts of city and country. Stay connected with us on Instagram, YouTube, Spotify and Apple Podcasts. That's all for today. See you all with a new expert.